Hi, my name's Ganja5420, and today I want to talk to you about why I think gold is going to 100,000 an ounce. But before I do, I would like to give you the use cases of gold, how it's going to affect the crypto market, and the benefits of having gold while you're invested in crypto, and also how you can make the most out of the money that you have today for the generations to come. But before I do that, I would like to talk about the use cases. So let's get into it. The use cases of gold in electronics. The most important industrial use of gold is in the manufacturing of electronics. Solid state electronic devices use very low voltage and currents which are easily interrupted by corrosion or tarnish at the contact points. Gold is the highly efficient conductor that can carry these tiny currents and may remain free of corrosion. Electric components made with gold are highly reliable. Gold is used in connector switches, relay contacts, solder joints, and connecting wires and connecting strips. A small amount of gold is used in almost every sophisticated electronic device. This device includes this list includes cell phones, calculators, personal digital assistants, global positioning system GPS units, and other small electronic devices. Most large electronic appliances such as television also contain gold. One challenge with the use of gold in very small quantities is the loss of metal from society. Nearly 1 billion cell phones are produced each year, and most of them contain about 50 cents worth of gold. The average lifetime is under 2 years, and very few are recycled. Although although the amount of gold is small in each device, their enormous numbers translate into a lot of unrecycled gold. So when we think about moving forward into this new digital era where I know as a millennial, I'm gonna be living in the transition and see the transition happening from fiat to crypto or CBDC. Paper won't be a thing. If you guys have kids, by the time they reach 18, it won't be a thing to see physical money. We're not gonna have physical money within the next 2 decades. It's gonna be filtered out. And so what that means is for all the nodes and just the electronic equipment that's going to need to be built out, not only in the United States and Western countries, but the globe totally. It's going to require a lot of physical metals such as copper, palladium, platinum, but those are mainly for specific industrial uses. But around the globe, there's going to be a large demand for gold, for silver, for copper, and it would be very wise of any investor to hold a small amount if you want a small hedge against inflation or against loss of purchasing power, because gold held at home is hold on, damn, holds no counterparty risk according to the Bank of International Settlements. And after Basel III happens, it will become more private and more benefit to those who actually own it and hold it. We just recently saw an article where Planeteer actually bought $50 million worth of physical gold. So and also accepts it as payment, as legal tender in that company. So you in the long term, I believe you're going to see more companies switch over to blockchain, crypto, and back to physical metals as legal tender, so to speak. And remember, um, the dollar, the Federal Reserve note is by decree, it's by the state saying it. But if businesses decree that crypto, that physical metal is money, but your fiat paper is not, then there's going to be a scenario where a lot of people who hold a lot of dollars are broke essentially, because if nobody's accepting your dollars, but they'll accept a Bitcoin or Ethereum or copper even, because copper is going to be heavily used in order to develop all of this out, which I will get to in a second. But if they're only accepting metals and crypto and you only have fiat, then essentially you're broke in the new system. You have no money because nobody wants it. And that's what we're going towards. A lot of countries have already started to dump the dollar. Of course, Russia has dumped the dollar completely and has allocated 20% of yuan into its holdings. And a lot of countries like Ecuador and a few others have already started to make the switch away from the dollar, not necessarily to the yuan, the euro, or other currencies, fiat currencies, but to like Bitcoin. And I believe you're gonna see a lot of other countries start to make a switch to projects they believe in that are going to succeed in the long term and back their fiat or back their countries with those particular projects. And some of these projects, even though they may have like 100 billion supply, well, if they have an actual use case, like Holochain, for example, then a country can spend trillions of dollars and that might boost up the price of these digital assets, but it also would make it harder for anybody or any country or company to be able to buy into these digital projects because they have a limited supply, because they are deflationary. And so this is the time to get in. I'm going to make some more videos on the regulations and the policies that have been coming out because I don't see a lot of YouTube channels actually getting into like the nit and gritty of like what the regulations are and how they affect the crypto space. Of course, they'll talk about the broad topic of regulations, but they don't go in depth. But that will be what my channel's for. And let's continue. So if you look on any um, metals exchange, precious metals exchange, you'll see that like gold and silver is around like back to its normal price of $24, and gold is around $1,800 and some change. But if you look at the U.S. debt clock, as you can see, silver's actual price, with the money printing, the continuous money printing of the Fed and the central banks, the actual price of silver today is $2,864 according to the U.S. debt clock, and the dollar to gold ratio, the real value of gold, is actually around $20,000 right now. So you can buy gold and silver at a relative discount compared to what the actual prices are. But the prices that me and you buy in right now are the contract value of gold and silver. It's not the notional value, the real value of gold and silver. And this is a nothing burger. This 20,000, this $2,000 is a nothing burger compared to where they're going. Because as we develop, for example, electronic cars, um, these are the forecasts for the electronic car market. We know that in electronics it requires gold, silver, and copper. And as you can see, by 2030, we're going to have at least 25 million cars. That's just in America. We're not talking about the globe. That's just in America. Think about how much gold, think about how much copper, silver, and other precious metals that are going to have to be allocated in order to develop out this entire infrastructure, this global infrastructure. And that's gold and silver that's going to be gone forever because you're going to need charging ports. That's going to require copper, gold, and silver, and other precious metals. And so that's gold, silver, and copper that are completely off the market. And the monetary metal or the metals that are left on the market are going to have tremendous value. And this is private money, so you can take this to India, you can take this to China, and it has its value. It holds its value no matter where you go. And it's private money. Nobody knows except you who owns what ounce, what gram, what kilo of gold you own. Only you know that. And so as an investor, have started to accumulate some gold, some copper, and I want to continue to do that as a digital asset investor because our cryptocurrencies, our digital financial system is based entirely out of gold and silver and copper. It's not competing against, but it's more a collaboration, if that makes sense. And so I would implore those who invest in crypto to really think about investing in gold and silver.